Alright, so here is my update for this week. I just finished up week 18 out of 72 weeks of this program. Um, so far so good. Everything's still going well. I had a pretty stressful week last week because it was finals week and I had to work to finish up this group project and we had to go present it and everything, but that wrapped up on Thursday. I'm gonna have another stressful week this week because I'm finishing up my qualifying exam and that's due on Friday, so I'm gonna be super busy this week just finishing that. But once that's done, I can relax just a little bit before I get into writing on my dissertation this summer. But yeah, kind of like I talked about last week, I think doing this program while I was doing that, you would think that like that would just add more stress on top of what you're already doing, but I think it actually helped me because since I've gotten in the routine of going to the gym every day and getting up early and going and doing that, I'm getting up early every day, I'm getting something accomplished every day, and I've also been, I don't know if I've mentioned it on here, but I have in some other videos where I bring something to read with me at the gym every day. So I'll do my workout and then I'll spend an hour walking on the treadmill and I use that time to read. So that was really helpful when I was taking classes that I had like readings to do for the classes, because I was the type that would like put off doing things until like I had to till the last minute, until like right before the class or when an assignment was due. But since I've kind of conditioned myself to be, spend that time reading, I've been getting my readings and everything done way ahead of time, and it's just helped me a lot. And then on top of that, now that I've gotten to where I eat the same thing every day, I know a lot of people would be like, that's so boring and food is so great, and you're limiting your enjoyment in life because you're not like just enjoying food. But for right now, I think this is what I need because I'm using so much of my like mental capacity to, kind of do this work and school stuff, that just not having to even think about what I'm gonna eat and having it pre-planned and having it prepped. So like I don't even have to think about it during the week. And I know I could do like meal planning and just spend like a day a week planning and prepping, but even with that, like it takes time and energy. But so now that I have what I've been eating, basically the same thing for the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's just easy. I didn't have to do any thinking this weekend. I'm just like, okay, what am I out of? Go to the store, get that, and then, get it prepped. And it didn't take that long to prep it this week. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to keep doing, just because I'm not going to have time to be thinking about extra stuff while I'm working on these exam questions. But I do think I'm going to need to adjust it maybe a little bit, but I don't know, because I had been losing about 1 pound a week before this. And this week my calories went down just a little bit. So my average calories 2 weeks ago was 1675. Last week it was 1685. This week it was 1668, and most days I was eating 1630, just because that was how the meal that I'd had planned, kind of came out. And some of the other shifts are because on Sunday I would kind of leave it up in the air and just, have that be a little bit of a cheat day. But this week I lost 2 pounds overall, and I want to do this in kind of like a safe way. And I think ideally, because we are doing a shred at the end of this, I don't think I should be losing like more than 1 pound a week. I don't know. I'm kind of torn, and my roommate's torn on it too. He's like, you've got excess body fat, so it makes sense to kind of try to shred off that excess body fat. And I'm like, but I still want to keep building muscle, so I don't want to have my calories too low to where I'm not still building muscle. So I don't know. I'm just playing around with it. But I'm out of olives for this week, so I substituted that with peanut butter to get the fats, and so that's bumping up my calories a little bit. So my calories this week are going to be about 1770 across the week, so that'll be a little bit higher calories. So I'll just see how I feel at the gym and see, you know, if I feel like I'm like still burning fat and building muscle. So just because that's what I had on hand, I'm gonna change it up just that little bit this week. But I don't know, overall I definitely feel like I'm getting leaner, but like I said, I want to keep building muscle. I'm starting, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but I'm definitely starting to see more of my bicep. My triceps have been pretty good, but I don't know. I guess we'll just see. I did go get an in-body scan the other day. And the in-body scan didn't show that I'd really lost that much fat. And I don't know that I really trust the in-body scan as much as I would like a DEXA scan. And this wasn't the same place that I had gone before to get my in-body scan. It was a different model of the scanner. So I don't know. Like, I feel like I've lost more body fat. It did show that I had more lean mass in my legs, which makes sense because I do feel like my legs are getting pretty solid. But it didn't really show much change in my arms, or much change in my body fat. It still had me at like 33% body fat, which maybe that's right. I don't know. But yeah, I don't have time to really think about making any changes too much this week. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, keep trying to push at the gym, and, you know, keep eating pretty much the same meal that I showed you last week, when I ran through my whole meal plan. And I do have some cans of olives here. So I've got some olives for the fat, but then I don't have enough to get me through the whole week. So I'm doing some peanut butter too. But what else? I feel like there was something else. Oh, week 20, I'm going to move into phase 3. So I think I'm just going to keep doing the same thing for the next 2 weeks. Or wait for the next week, because next week is week 19. And then at the end of the week, I'm going to review like what changes in phase 3. And so maybe things will switch up then. But for now, I'm going to keep doing this because it's feeling good and it's keeping me on track, and I'm getting to a point where I am enjoying, I wouldn't say like I enjoy going to the gym, but it's just become like a routine and I don't hate it. Some days I do look forward to it, some days I don't, and I'm trying to kind of track that in this little tracking app that I've found, just to kind of see. I think I've mentioned this before a lot, like I think kind of my motivation to go kind of ebbs and flows with my hormone cycle. So, but yeah, so far so good. I will hop on the apps real quick. Not really too much to show. It's basically the same as last week, except for my weight loss. And then we'll do my measurements and see if any of that's changed. All right, so starting with my Fitbit app, what I use to track my weight. So yeah, my average weight last week was 137.7. And like I said, the weeks before that, it's been pretty consistent, dropping about a pound a week. And then this week it was down to 135.7. So that was a 2 pounds loss. And I've been right at 135 the last couple days, 134.9. So we'll just see how this next week goes with my calories going up, you know, just a little bit. So my calories are going up by about 100 calories a day. So we'll see what happens when I do that. And with my meals for last week. So yeah, the calories across the board were pretty much 1630. And then I had a little bit higher last Sunday. I think I don't feel like coming up with a meal today. I've got a lot of work to do for my school stuff. So I'm just going to eat the same thing I do every other day today. But yeah, that daily average down there is 1668. And then for the macros, I was on track. So it shifted a little bit when you look at the average because I ate higher carbs last Sunday, but my macros were on point with that 35% carbs, 25% fat, and 40% protein. When you average it out, you know, the carbs and the protein are a little bit different, but pretty much every day I was on point with my macros. So yeah, gonna keep doing this and see what happens next week. All right, so here's how it's looking. I am starting to notice more of a difference in my midsection finally. So yeah, that's how it looks from the front. Then I can suck it in a little bit, but that's how it is, just pushed out. In the back. And I will just jump right into the measurements. Last week I saw the losses in my chest the most, which I've mentioned this before, that's where I tend to gain and lose first, is in my chest. So around my band, still at 30. I think that's about as small as my band is gonna get. Don't have my pencil. Yeah, I don't think there's really like much more to lose around there. And then around here. Some days this goes really smoothly and other days it doesn't. Go around my bust is 33.25, so I've lost another ½ inch there. So I'm losing it in my chest for sure. Last week it was 33.75. I think at the start of this it was like 35 or 36. My waist, I had lost a ½ inch in my waist last week. We'll see how about this week. So far it doesn't look like it. Push out. Yeah, it's about the same. It's like 30, maybe, actually I think it's a little bit bigger. It's like 30.25. Last week it was 30, the week before it was 30.5, so. But I will say I felt like really lean like 3 or 4 days ago, and the last couple days, like I mentioned, sometimes I just feel chubbier. I felt chubbier the last couple days, so maybe it's, I don't know, that time in my cycle. And for my hips, is 38.75. So maybe I measured, oh no, 37.75. So my hips are going down somehow. I didn't think I had that much to lose. So I lost about a ½ inch on my hips since last week. And the week, so that's gone down quite a bit the last couple of weeks. And then my thigh. Oh, did I do this wrong? Because last week, the last few weeks, it's been 21.5. So I go 6 inches. Go around. Okay, so it's sitting right at 21. So I have lost some of my thighs. Well, I guess those 2 pounds had to come from somewhere. So my chest basically everywhere but my waist, which is where I would want it to come from, but that's okay. I do feel like my waist is like, I feel like even though I haven't been doing any core exercises, I haven't been doing any ab exercises, I do feel like when I'm doing my workouts, I'm engaging them, and I feel like I'm starting to see like it looks more toned to me, especially when I'm like wearing my leggings or whatever. I feel like up top above the leggings, it's starting to look like more toned up there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens over this next week, and then we'll get into phase 3 and see what happens there. We'll just keep going. So I will be back next week with other update. Hopefully I will be a lot more chill and calm because I will have my exams finished.